Hi everybody, this is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 68. In this lesson, we will learn about the situation when a V is followed by an E. When this happens, an E can do one or two jobs. Let's get started by setting up the table. You'll need your top 160 sight word list, the sight word study method instruction sheet, the student's card pack of sight words, some blank index cards, a highlighter, markers, and some pencils. The short vowel drill is no longer on the table because the student will have mastered the short vowel sounds by this point. You'll need the phonemic awareness drill with the teacher instruction sheet and the colored tiles for the student. Moving on to the auditory and visual drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the student's card pack. For the syllable card drill, you'll have to have this one cut out and ready to go on the table. It's a 2-syllable drill today. And then we'll have the magnetic letter tile drills for reading and spelling. You'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the cookie sheets with the magnetic letter tiles spread in a rainbow shape. You'll need the scooping syllables worksheet, the new phoneme grapheme kinesthetic discovery sheet, and the sheets for the lesson, which include the scooping syllable worksheet with the teacher's answer key provided, and the single word list, the controlled text for the short story, and the 3 sentences for the writing section. In addition, we'll have a closed syllable, open syllable, vowel, consonant, silent E sort. And you'll have to cut that one out in advance. And then we'll have a sort about the jobs of E, which is the new content part of the lesson today. And you'll have to cut that one out in advance as well. In addition to all of that, you might have a timer on the table. It'll be there if you've introduced the fluency element. And to do this, you'll need to add a secondary program such as Read Naturally or the 6-minute reading solution. This is an important element not to forget because the OG method does not include fluency, so you have to add that part in. Begin with the sight word study method. Student, I'd like you to take out your sight word card pack. You'll read through each word in the pack. And teacher, you're ready with blocking strategies in case the student encounters difficulties. Student, when you read a word correctly, you'll put a check mark in the corner of the card. Then you'll pass the card pack to your teacher, and it's your teacher's turn to read. Your teacher reads through each word, and you, student, will write them down. When you write a word correctly, then you put a check mark in the other corner of the card. Afterwards, you can have a quick discussion to find out which of those words has been mastered. Once a word is mastered, you can remove it from the card pack. Then, if there's time, you can introduce a new sight word. Let's do the phonemic awareness drill. Student, you're going to need your colored tiles for this one. Take out a tile and call it ah. Okay, let's get a second colored tile, new color, and call it p. Put it right after the ah. Now tap it and say it. Did you say app? If you did, that's right. Now I'd like you to find the ah in app. Change the ah into an A. And what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you say ape? Like there was an ape in the jungle? Okay, I'd like you to add a new tile. Can you say that sound? Put the t in front of ape. And what's your new word? Did you say tape? I will tape up the poster. If you did, that's right. Now change the t into a s. What's your new word? Did you say sape? I don't know that word. I think it's a nonsense word. Let's change it into a real word. Change the s into a sh. And what's your new word? Did you say shape? A circle is a shape. If you did, that's right. Great job. You can put your tiles away. Let's do the visual drill. You'll need your card pack for this one. The teacher flashes the card, and student, what are the sounds of this one? Did you say O? That's the long sound, and ah, which is the short sound as an olive. If you did, that's right. Teacher, do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way and then come back to me. Let's do the auditory drill. Student, your sound is F. Can you repeat that sound? Now I'd like you to write down the symbol that goes with F, and as you do, say the sound. How many symbols do you know that make this one? And then underline and say the sound again. Let's check. Did you say F can make F and PH as well? If you did, that's right. Great work. Teacher, do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way and then come back to me. It's time for the syllable card drill, and your teacher has this one cut out and ready to go on the table. You'll read down column 1 and then read down all the syllables in column number 2, and then read across the rows making nonsense words as you go. And then it's time to unscramble things. So leave column 1 as it is and just unscramble those words in column 2 to match up with different ones in column 1 to form real words. And remember to talk about the meanings of these words and to put some of them into sentences as well. Let's do some syllable pounding. You can pound it out this way, or you can put your hand under your chin. I'll say a word and you repeat the word. When you say the word, every time a syllable happens, your chin drops. Or you could do it this way and just show the syllables by pounding out your fingers. Here's your first word. How many syllables are in wild? Now remember that you're just listening for the vowel sound. Wild. Did you say 1? If you did, that's right. How about this one? Wildfire. Did you say 2? If you did, that's right. Okay, how about this one? Re-update. Say that word. I will re-update the computer. How many syllables? I hear 3. I hear the E in re, the in up, and the A in date. Unwise. How many? Did you say 2? If you did, that's right. Good job. I'd like you to pull out your Scooping Syllables worksheet. And your teacher has an eye on the time, so you might not be able to do all the words on the sheet. Your teacher will let you know how many to do. And follow the rules of Scooping Syllables and discuss your thinking as you're working on the sheet. Teacher, you've got the answer key ready to go there as well. We've been talking about closed syllables, open syllables, and now vowel, consonant, silent E syllables. What type of syllable is this one? Did you say this one's closed? If you did, that's correct. We have a little story that we say about closed syllables to remember. Can you tell your teacher that story now? Well, we talk about how everything is about the all-important vowel, isn't it? And in this case, there is a babysitter, a consonant babysitter, and he comes in and he says, "Oh, I'm here to take care of you." So you can just say your nice, happy, short sound. And O says aw as in olive. So in closed syllables, we're worried about what happens at the end of the word, not about what happens at the start. So it might have 1 babysitter, it could have 2, but at least 1. So this is going to say the short sound. It's a closed syllable. But what happens if the babysitter goes away? Says, "Hey, I'm just going to go out and get some milk. I'll come back." Well, now O is quite upset because he has no one to look after him. So he starts screaming his name. "Oh, I'm going to wander off and get lost. Where's my mummy? Mummy, O is all by himself. Mummy, mummy." And so what type of syllable is this one? No longer closed. It's open. Open to the world. The door is open. And what is the word? This one's going to say no. In an open syllable, the O says its name. But if the babysitter comes back in, everything's great now. "Oh, I'm sorry I left. Everything's okay." You can say your nice soft sound again. And he says, "Ah." So what's that word? That word is not. Our third syllable type, it deals with the situation where, what if I have a babysitter, but I want the O to say its name? Well, now we have to have another syllable type. And this is where the vowel, which is the O, consonant, silent E, the syllable type comes in. What's the story that we tell for this one? If you remember, can you tell your teacher now? You can pause me. Well, we say, E has come to the window, and he sees that the babysitter is there, but the babysitter's kind of drowsy on the couch, maybe fell asleep watching TV. So he's like, psst, psst, oh, I can't see. Are you in there? Say your name if you're in there. And O says, O is in here, O. So the E is silent, and the O says his name. What's this word? N-O-T. Note, like a musical note. Great job. Let's review these 3 different syllable types by doing a card sort. Your teacher has this one cut out and ready on the table. You can read the words if you choose, or you can simply use your knowledge of definitions and you can simply sort them really quickly. Do that now and then come back to me. Today, in this lesson, we're going to learn a new concept. And this is about a special situation in the vowel, consonant, silent E type. So far, we've learned that little E can come to the window and say, psst, psst, say your name, vowel. And the vowel will scream its name, as in note. But there is a special situation that happens when a word ends in V. So this looks like a nice closed syllable. And read it just as a closed syllable. What would this word be if you tapped it and said it? Can you do that now? Give. Looks like everything's good. Nice, easy, closed syllable. Everyone's doing exactly what we expect them to do. But there's a problem. In English, we are not allowed to end words in V. And I think this comes from way back when the printing press was created. And I think that it caused some problems when 2 V's. See, if we had just left it like this, then remember the 1-1-1 rule? Well, we might get into a situation where we had to have 2 V's side by side. And I can imagine that would create problems because if you had 2 V's side by side, they'd look an awfully lot like a W. So that's probably the reason why we don't end words in V in English. So to stop that from happening, we say, hey, E, you were so helpful. Would you mind doing one more job? So in this word, give, the E is simply there to stop the V from ending the word. It would be a closed syllable if it could, so the I is going to say I. But the E is there as well. So we have to know that when there's a V, the E might do one job, which is simply stop the V from ending the word, or it might be doing 2 jobs. It's allowed to do 1 or 2. Look at this word. We have to wonder, is that a closed syllable and the E just came in to stop the V from ending the word? Or is the E doing 2 jobs and forcing that I to say its name? So say it both ways and see which one forms a real word. Tap it and say it. So that word is five. So in this case, the E is stopping the word from ending in V, and it is forcing the I to say its name. So there are 2 jobs of E in this word. Let's work with this idea of is the E doing 1 job or 2 jobs? And we'll do a sort to help us figure this out. So in this sort, you'll tap it and say the word, and you'll have to experiment a little bit sometimes, thinking, is that a short vowel or is it a long vowel? And you'll just be ready, because when there's a V followed by an E, we have to be ready for, is it 1 job or 2? Let's do a quick blending drill to work on these jobs of E. So we'll have words where we have a vowel and the consonant will be V and then followed by an E. So you're going to have to think, is the E doing 1 job or 2 jobs? Because wouldn't it be nice if we were allowed to end in V and just simply have it like this? What would this word be? It's an illegal word because we're not allowed to end in V. So tap it and say it. Okay, now let's turn it into a legal word. That word is? Yeah, it is live. Okay, I'm going to change it. What's the new word? Tap it and say it. Okay, and let's change it again. New word. Tap it and say it. Let's change the vowel. Tap it and say it. Not a real word there. I'll change it into a real word. What is it now? Okay, changing the vowel again. And remember, you're thinking, is it a short vowel or a long vowel? Okay, is the E doing one job or two jobs in this one? Well, this word is rove, so the E is doing two jobs. It's stopping the word from ending in V, and it's forcing the O to say its name. How about in this word? Is the E doing one job or two jobs? It's doing two because this is cove, so the O is long, and the E is also stopping the word from ending in V. And here's your last one. How many jobs is the E doing in this word? It's doing two jobs in this word because this word is wove, so it's stopping the word from ending in V, and it is making the O say its name. Great work. Let's pull out your magnetic letter tile board, and we're going to do the magnetic letter tile drill for reading. Your first sound is G. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the tile for G and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is A. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The next sound is V. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. And think about any spelling rules that have to get applied. Adding tiles that you need to add. And did you spell this word G-A-V-E? And did you say the word is gave? If you did, that's right. I gave you an A+ on your magnetic letter tile drill for today. Put those tiles away and let's try a new word. Your word, let's see. Okay, I got one. Can you say S? Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now your sound is ol. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your sound is I. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Can you say Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Okay. Now tap it and say it, and think about any spelling rules that need to get applied. Add any extra tiles that need to get added. And what's that word? Did you read it as slime? If you did, that's right. If we didn't, and did you add the E, so you spelled it S-L-I-M-E? That would be correct. If we didn't add the E, then we'd have a closed syllable, and we'd have to read it as slim. We'd have to make the I say its short sound. Great job. Now I'd like you to take out your single word list, and you can read through your list, and then you can read your controlled text, like your short story with your teacher. And then if there's a fluency element that's been added, teacher, that's where your timed reading will go. Let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for spelling. Student, you'll need your cookie sheet with your letters spread in a rainbow shape for this one. Your word is save. Can you repeat that word? I might say, the fireman will save the day. Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in save? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in save? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the last sound that you hear in save? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now apply any spelling rules that need to get applied and add any tiles that need to get added. How'd you spell it? Tap it and say it. Did you spell it S-A-V-E? If you did, that's right. And how many jobs is the E doing in the word save? Did you say 2? If you did, that's right. The E is stopping the word from ending in V, and it's also forcing the A to say its name. Okay, put your tiles away and let's try a new one. All right, your word is mine. Can you repeat that word? I might say, that's not yours, it's mine. What's the first sound that you hear in mine? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in mine? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the last sound that you hear in mine? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now apply any spelling rules that need to get applied and add any tiles that need to get added. Tap it and say it. Did you spell it M-I-N-E? If you did, that's right. Great work. Okay, let's write some single words now. So I'd like you to take out a pencil and your lined paper. You're going to, I'll say a word and I'd like you to repeat it, and then you'll tap it out. Tap it sound by sound with your fingers. Say the whole word and drag it across, and then write it down. Your word is side. Can you repeat that word? Now tap it out. Think about any spelling rules that need to get applied and write it down. Did you spell it S-I-D-E? If you did, that's right. If we didn't put the E on there, we'd have to read it as Sid, as a closed syllable. But it's a long I sound, so that's why we need that silent E. Here's your next word, wade. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I will wade into the water up to my knees. Okay, tap it and say the whole word and write it down. Did you spell it W-A-D-E? If you did, that's right. Okay, let's try a new one. Your word is name. Can you repeat that word? I might say, what's your name? Tap it, say the whole word, and write it down. Did you spell it N-A-M-E? If you did, good job. Okay, teacher, if there's time, you can do some more words in this way. Otherwise, we'll move on to the sentences. So student, the teacher is going to read out 3 sentences, and you can choose the 2 that will be written. You can write down your sentences, and after you write each one, I'd like you to use CHOPS to check your work. Let's do a quick review before you go. In today's lesson, we were talking about when V wants to end a word. You can't do it. It would break English. We're not allowed to end in V. So for that reason, E steps in and stops the V from being at the end of the word. It says, don't worry, buddy, I'll be at the end of the word. Sometimes the E can do one job, simply stop the V from ending the word. And sometimes it'll do 2 jobs, and it'll force the vowel to say its name as well as stopping the V from being at the end. So in this word, can you tap and say this word? And then tell me, how many jobs is the E doing in this word? Did you say it's doing 1 job? If you did, that's correct. What is the job that it's doing? Did you say that it's simply stopping the V from being at the end of the word? If you did, that's right. And let's do a different word. In this word, how many jobs is E doing? Tap and say the word and then figure it out. In this word, E is doing 2 jobs. First of all, it is simply stopping the V from being at the end of the word, but it's also forcing the I to say its name because that word is 5. So you can hear that the I is saying I. Great job today. That is the end of lesson 68. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy.